Hello everybody, this is Mr. Springer. I am your online algebra instructor this summer. I just wanted to take a moment to make a video for you and introduce myself and tell you a little bit about class. A little bit about me. You can see my beautiful family here. I am happily married. And I have 6 wonderful children. I live in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, which is right in the middle of the Lower Peninsula. I teach mathematics, but I also teach French, and I'm actually the lead world language instructor for Michigan Virtual School. It's kind of like being a department chair. So I've worked full-time for Michigan Virtual School for a number of years and love teaching online. It's such a blast. I love meeting students from all across the state. A couple other things. I am a musician. I played drum set and bass guitar pretty proficiently. I played in a number of different groups before. I also used to play in drumline for marching band when I was in high school and in college age, and I've actually taught a number of different marching band drumlines across the state. When I'm not doing those things, I tend to spend time outdoors, reading, camping, hiking, fishing, biking, running. Those are all different activities I enjoy. How to get in touch with me? The quickest way you need to get a hold of me, if you need to, which you very likely will need to at different times, would be to call me, text me, send me an email. That contact information is all in instructor info in Blackboard, as well as in the course banner at the very top of the page. You can also send me a message within Blackboard, but that's a little slower. It may take me a day to respond or so. Some quick class expectations and tips for success. 1, come to class every day. Treat it like you would a face-to-face classroom, and you're going to be more likely to do well on it. Read the announcements, check messages or email, check your grades, and then continue on your work. That's just a really solid approach to how to progress through your course each day. Stay up to date with your pacing guide. We don't have firm due dates in class. There's only one due date. It's the very end of summer semester, which I believe is Friday, August 12th. But you're going to want to stay up to date with the pacing guide throughout the summer. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really hard for you to cram in the course at the end, especially since this course requires quite a bit of teacher communication. All of that can't happen within 1 week. It really needs to happen throughout the summer. It's not an independent study course. Ask for my help. Your school or your parents are paying pretty good money for you to take a course that actually has a teacher with it. So please feel free to take advantage of that and contact me. I really want to help you however I can. And there will be times that you're required to speak on the phone with me at least once per unit before the unit test. And so don't be afraid of that. I'm really happy to speak with you and help you. Just to reiterate a few just tips for how to actually do an online course, because it's different than face-to-face, right? You know, you're kind of working on your own all the time. What does that look like? Each day when you log in, the first thing you should do is read announcements. I generally only post 1 announcement a week, but I would still read it every day, and you can go back and read the previous week's announcements. I'll show you how to do that. That's the most critical information. If you're missing out on the announcements, you're missing out on a ton, because that's the main information I want to communicate to everybody. Second, check your email or course messages, especially if you had emailed me the day before. You want to see if I responded to you before you progressed. Thirdly is you want to always check your grades. That helps you see where you're doing or how you're doing on work. And then if you had completed a teacher-graded assignment, such as a project, you'll want to see my feedback on that. Finally, just continue in the course where you last left off. I want to take a minute and actually go through class a little bit. So when you log in, you're first going to be at announcements. Here's that wonderful little banner I mentioned at the top that has my contact information. Pretty easy to get a hold of me there. The announcements are really simple. It's just an embedded Google slideshow. So this is the current week announcement, but if I want to see last week's, all I have to do is progress that one slide, and I see last week's announcement. Anything that's underlined and in blue, you can actually click on, and it will open that for you, such as the intro survey I do want you to complete. So you want to check that every day and reread that because it's really important information. A couple other just quick tips that are the most important documents in the whole course. In course info, the course overview video will show you how to do almost anything in class. I recommend watching it at least a couple of times. It'll answer a lot of the questions you have for me. And when you come to me with a course navigation question, I may refer you back to the course overview video because it just does such a great job of showing you how to do stuff. This is the pacing guide. You're going to want to follow it as carefully as you can. And then the Maple TA reference guide is super helpful with navigating Maple TA. Maple TA can be a little bit tricky. That's how you complete your quizzes and your tests, but this shows you a lot of what to do. When you, two things, I guess. When you're in lessons, this is where your content is, okay? Only parts of your course show up at one at a time. You basically have to achieve 60% on anything that's graded, such as the Maple TA tutorial, and then all of these checkpoints, in order for the rest of the content to show up. And you get 2 attempts on each of the checkpoints. After 2 attempts, if you can't get 60% or above, you have to follow the Maple reset policy. Go to that section and it will explain exactly what you need to do. Also, each unit has a discussion-based assessment. So once you get to this point, you pass the 6.7 checkpoint, for instance, the DBA, or discussion-based assessment, will open up for you. And what that means is you need to contact me, and I'm going to ask you some questions live over the phone to gauge your understanding of this unit's material. And you're going to need to show me that you understand it before I allow you to take the test. The reason we do that is just to really ensure that you're understanding the material and that you do great in Algebra 1, because we care about you and we want you to be successful. So the tip with those is the DBAs. I want you to contact me either with a message instructor, or you can text or email me and tell me at least 24 hours in advance when are some good times to get a hold of you that are during my office hours. My office hours are in instructor info. They're during the main part during the day, basically 8:30 to 3:30. And we will arrange a time to meet and talk to do your DBA before we do the unit test. One other just real quick tip. In my grades, there are 2 ways to check your grades for the course. The top one, that's your grade book within Blackboard. And if if I've left you some feedback on a project, for instance, you'll see it in there. But on your checkpoints, if you want to see how you're doing on those and what your scores are and which items you missed and stuff like that, you have to go to Maple TA Course Tools. There's a helpful document here. But this is the tip. When you click on it, if you're like me and you're using Google Chrome, nothing's going to show up. We have to do a little tip. There's a shield at the top, and I'm just going to click on that and then select Load Unsafe Scripts. Once I do that, it will load Maple TA, and I will begin to see what I need to see to move forward. So you got to load the unsafe scripts in order to get that to work. If you're using a different browser, such as Internet Explorer or Firefox, you have to do that a little differently, but it's the same basic idea. Looking forward to working with everybody. If you have any questions, just let me know.